You guys are telling me to watch Tearlaments. All right, let's see. Gabriel Nets and Henrik Bancroft's Tearlament deck that they talk. Gabriel Nets, by the way, I want to say a few things about Gabriel Nets. Gabriel Nets has been one of the most impressive people in the last couple, I want to say year, maybe even longer than that, of Yu-Gi-Oh! Like the amount of tops that Gabe has been getting is insane. And it's probably gonna, I don't think, if there's any player I expect to win a YCS soon for the first time, it's Gabe. Probably. Out of all the people that are like on the come up right now, I think it's about time for Gabe, like honestly.
Hey guys, Gabe from Disciples, and I'm here with Henry. We also got top 32, and Marcus who showed up. And we I top 8.
That was fun. We didn't need to do that.
With Tearlaments. So
okay, this is a little loud.
What do you guys have to say?
The deck was really good. I think in testing, it performed the best. They had the ability to win games going second, and going first, there was so many auto-win buttons. Like you could be Ash in like all these cards. So yeah, it was really good.
And I think our list is very different from other people play because we're not playing King of the Swamp. So we're going for
no King of the Swamp. I like that.
Nitro deck, and honestly, it was so good.
Are you on team no King of the Swamp? The versions that I was testing for this YCS did not have King of the Swamp anymore. Yeah.
Well, it's like very unfortunate games. I might have watched the top 8 feature against Vanquish Zone. But in general, it felt like I had the better deck in the room every game I played. So yeah.
I think we were very lucky because Gabe had been playing this deck 1 month prior to Euros and really sweat it out and really realised what the good cards are, what the bad cards are, and how to play this deck. So massive bonus.
Yeah. Let's go through it. So main deck.
The thing about King of the Swamp is that the card is a good mill exclusively. It's nothing else. And it is a good mill because it opens up so many fusion possibilities, but it's not even a good mill on its own. It's a card that you want in your graveyard, but then you still rely on milling and resolving another card in order to make use of it. Plus, it's very bad in your hand. It's very bad in your hand. So I think King of the Swamp is just asking your deck to you're just asking your deck to variance you out of the tournament by playing a card like King of the Swamp. Like it's not a terrible card, but it's just like I don't think it's very good. It's not even bad in your hand. It is way worse than all of the other cards that you can play instead in your hand. Searching a Polymerization is just awful. It's just awful.
One. They are limited. Your cash is like the best card in your deck, and the way the deck wins is by starting to mill.
Rosa are playing Malicious instead? Yeah, Malicious is way better. Like, I thought Malicious was great when I tested. I loved the Malicious version as well. I hope they're playing Denier too.
You get out of the early game and you start milling, you just don't lose your games. And this is a good mill and a good draw. So. And then one thing we did for normal summons, we played 3 Rhino and 1 Diviner. A couple of lists are playing like multiple Diviners. Our argument is that Rhino's a better mill, and we're...
How is Mali better in hand, though? Well, every monster with a graveyard effect, you're going to need a way to get it out of your hand. Like, I'm not saying Mali is a better draw. I'm saying Mali is better overall. 1 Diviner, I don't think I agree with. Like I said earlier, my issue with Tier was mostly that I needed to find... I personally thought you needed to find Kelbeck Argido consistently. Otherwise, you would be in trouble a lot of the times. At least in my testing against, like, good Unchained players, I was like... If I can't get to like critical mass in milling, I would have a problem. Rhinoheart is a very balanced. My guess is that they were trying to play triple Scream, which Scream Rhinoheart is still a very good opener. I just didn't think Rhinoheart was a good draw whenever I didn't have Scream. That was a problem for me.
Bahamut Shark. So Rhino really helps because sometimes even if you're normal summon the Rhino, you mill Rhino, you can just put them to gather into Bahamut Shark. The Diviners are one-off. Was good for me. I don't know how it was for you guys.
Yeah. It was really good for me. It comes up a couple of times. It's the 5th normal with Merlin. So the maths is good.
That was not a legal play that he just said, right? Did he say Rhino and then mill a Rhino?
For me,
Diviners are one-off. Was good for me. I don't know how it was for you guys. Put them to gather into Bahamut. So Rhino really helps because sometimes even if you're normal summon the Rhino, you mill Rhino, you can just put them to gather into Bahamut Shark.
Yeah, you can't send Rhino with Rhino. I guess maybe he means you normal summon a Rhino and then you mill a Rhino randomly later. I think that's what he's saying. Yeah. I think that's what he's saying.
The Diviners are one-off. Was good for me. I don't know how it was for you guys.
Yeah. It was really good for me. It comes up a couple of times. It's the 5th normal with Merlin, so the maths is good.
I mean, Rhino Heart is a good mill. If you have any tier card in your hand, Rhino Heart is just a very, very strong mill. So I can kind of understand the logic behind wanting to play 3, because a card that is a good draw, or like a decent draw and a good mill in a deck like this is a very valuable card, because most cards, or like a lot of cards, are either good mills or good draws, and Rhino Heart can be both. So I think that's one advantage.
I'm being a 2-ton back of Cross Sheep, and also when you link with Merlin into Sprint, the chain of Shuffler, put Merlin back because it's legal.
You think Tier needs more hits, or is it fine now? I think the Ishizu cards need to go. That's the one. That's my take. I think Tier in itself is not a problem and will never be a problem. I freaking hate the Ishizu cards still. Even at 1, I think it's still very frustrating to play against, and very much even sometimes it feels even worse because the deck is not even that consistent anymore. It just feels so arbitrary that like my opponent goes Scream and then mills a Kelbeck, and suddenly they can do everything they want in the world, and I know that card that they just milled is a freaking one of, and that just feels so much more frustrating to play against. So much less controlled, right? There's no control at all, right? Whereas like when Tearlament was tier 0, yes, the deck would mill, like there was randomness to it, but the deck was so consistent and all the cards were at 3 that there was a level where there was planning. There was planning you could do, because your average mills would pretty much always be the same. Like you would just mill the stuff that you were mill, like that it was there. Like you could calculate with the things that there would be there, right? Like right now, all the names are at 1, all the Ishizus are at 1. It feels so arbitrary fair playing against tier, right? It seems very awkward. And I would prefer having the Ishizu cards banned. And if they did that, honestly, I would even be fine at giving tier back some of the other tools, like bringing some of the one of tier names back to 2 or 3 so that they can consistently mill a tier name. Like I've never had a problem when my opponent just went like activate Scream, mill a tier name. That's always been fine, right? That's never been a problem. The problem is activate Scream, mill a freaking Kelbeck. That's when it becomes ridiculous. So I think the Ishizu cards have always been the issue.
Because it's actually a bad mill.
And they still are.
And like I call them normal summons, because sometimes you have the other bricky cards like the Nayers, the Modora, stuff like that, and then there are normal summons. So really happy with the one Diviner, and it's good, very good going second to some boards, like into Unchain and Purdy. So like I played an Unchain guy, he made a full board, and then someone Diviner, moved a Yugioh, hit 5 effects. It was great.
See?
I wish I could have hit them in top 8. One Kelbeck, one Yugioh, one Caldo, one Modora. Yeah?
Good
No.
cards.
Good cards, good cards. If you don't play Modora, you're crazy. So one thing, we play Dangers over King of the Swamps. Basically, if you don't play King of the Swamps, you gotta play something to fuse with. Because you gotta...
So one thing I like about Nessie in particular that I've been thinking about is that it is a dark aqua monster. Because I found Beatrice to be the best thing you could do with Tearlaments. Like I really like going for Beatrice because it just opens up so many plays on your turn and then also translates into another play on your opponent's turn. Like I think Beatrice is by far the best thing you can do. And Nessie helps with that because it's a dark aqua which lets you make Garura. It's so hard to make Garura with Tearlaments now because you only have one of each tier name, and the tier names, because of like the nature of tier, is that they probably go back into your deck, so it's very hard to have 2 tier names in the grave at the same time to make a Garura with, and Nessie can really help with that.
You gotta use it to your effect with something. And we thought those were the best because A, they got you out of the early game by just revealing, pitching bricky cards out, and with the Cross Sheep, the extra bodies have some value of Nessie. And Nessie is a dark aqua, so we really focus on Beatrice. So we play Mali, Bestials, and Nessie. So we try to turbo into Beatrice every hand as well.
I like that.
But yeah, honestly, if I play King of the Swamp, I'll have brick like 5 times. Because the amount of times I went like danger effect to just play, it's crazy. Even into a board, right? Like sometimes you just like reveal a danger, and you can draw into your side cards, draw into Poly, draw into Uncard.
And this was one issue when I played Danger tier. Playing into Unchained Caesar was really hard for me with a version like that one. This is why I ended up discarding Tearlaments as a deck choice. Is I thought the Unchained matchup was not that great. Going second, going first it was fine, like completely fine. Going first it was fine against Unchained. Going second I had some issues because there's a lot of some parts of your deck just die to the Caesar a little bit too hard sometimes. But
and I think going second in general, V-body is so valuable, especially against like Pearly, when you want to threaten underworld goddess.
Yeah. And
Really
and even against like Unchained, because he makes dark, and then the dark is awkward because dark can take something. If you crash the dark, you search Sharon. I want a game like this, just making dark, searching Sharon, pitch callback. So yeah, I'm really happy with those. It could technically be a second target. I missed it like once in future, but I think it's needed because like realistically, that is a better mill because you want to play a lot of darks for mud anyway. And then we play the Motion Obvious, Goten.
That's good.
It's not so good. It's like the best mill of the deck. Dysentery Karma. I started siding this out, like in testing, but I realized I just keep this in every time. Because it's so good to mill on their turn,
Slumpy and Pansy Cake, thank you guys for the subs. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
And like this tier does so much with this extra card, because this extra card can become like 10 mils if you pair them, right? Like
I wonder
stuff like that.
I wonder if we're playing Winda for the one beast. I'm not sure. I had an opponent that played Winda, but they also played like the Hollow Shaddoll and stuff like that. And they sided Shaddoll Fusion. Dude, Shaddoll Fusion in the side deck destroyed me when I played Pearly. Like that was... That shit... Oh my... I got destroyed so hard by Shaddoll Fusion one time in Pearly. That was crazy.
Then the Destiny Heroes, we did double Mali with the Denier. A couple people cut the Denier. It was very, very...
They didn't even send... No, they didn't even send the Shaddoll that... They did not even send the Shaddoll that stops you from activating Noir. They didn't do that. They just send, like... Kelbeck. they freaking sent Kelbeck and Beast to make... What is this thing called, dude? I already forgot. Shekinaga, dude. I had to pick up Shekinaga and read it because it's been 10 years or whatever since I've seen that card. No, I'm more like 8. But freaking Shaddoll Fusion was draw 1, mill 5, put a body onto the board. God damn, I got destroyed by that.
I think that when you have Mali Denier, like you make dangerous.
I won that game, but it felt really bad in that spot. I just realized I won that game, but it felt crazy in that moment.
So you pitch one, dump the other, and then you can Mali, summon the Denier.
I love the Diviner. The Denier, not the Diviner. The Denier. That's great. The Destiny Hero package felt really good for me in testing.
And then like you got your cross sheep, and then this is on the deck again. So like you link something off with your cross sheep, and then you use the guy that the Denier put back to summon this again, and then this cross ship triggers. And then after this, these are batteries, and the guy you summoned off, you can link for sprint. So the Denier is very, very good. And it's another name that you can mill to make the dangerous period. So yeah, very happy with those. And then we played Triple Druis, no Magnum at the main deck. Triple Druis.
Oh, Druis in the main deck.
The idea is that's a good non-engine against Unchained. Because
how many cards is this, Gabe?
Plays around Nib and plays around...
Gabe, how many cards is this?
Like Slayers, they go Sarama, pop their Soul of Rage, and then you can
it's 40, okay.
You check the Soul of Rage, and this threatens
it looked very large. I thought we were almost... I thought we were already like 30 cards in, but it only looks so large because it's double sleeved. I was scared for a second.
I never actually did this against Unchained, but it was good for me in a couple scenarios, like just hitting... I played Mirrors, of course. It's good against Dragon Link. You can just summon this and make this when you go first.
It doesn't feel like a 40 card deck. Like we've watched all the Tearlaments. There's been Dangers. There's been Destiny Heroes. There's Bestials. It doesn't feel like this does not feel like a legal 40 card submission. I feel like maybe they changed the way counting works. I'm not sure.
Or like you hit a Mali, or you have a Garura. So yeah, really happy with the Druis.
It was very good for me. Especially going second, like same with Destiny, because it's just 8 body.
Yeah.
It trades so well. I think it's almost better than Magnum at this moment going second. Because being able to like send something is so relevant.
Yeah, like because of Unchained specifically, it made sense to go True Druis. We had True Druis on Magnum as a debate. We ended up going for Triple Druis. If I had Magnum Druis, I would have made Beatrice because I drew double Druis.
Just finished watching the VOD with your deck profile. Retrospective, would you have played the Dark Lord for time? I'm not sure. There's 2 options, in my opinion, when it comes to Pearly. You either don't play the deck, or you find something that helps you with the time situation, because that was such a huge issue for me. Not being able to just scoop game 2 early and start game 3 because I knew I was going to lose. So you need some solution for it. I don't know what exactly the solutions are that you have, right? The possible options. But you have to find this. I would not recommend bringing Pearly to a tournament if you don't have a fix for the problem. So yeah, that's that.
Anyways, Triple field spell, no terraforming. So
I'm trying to think if there's a thing that Gabe could say right now that makes me say, yep, that's correct.
sounds crazy, but we want to like maximize the amount of good mills in the deck. And terraforming is technically a mad mill. So before...
Okay, hear me out. But if you play 2 Pearl Rhino and a terraforming, if you draw the terraforming, you make your mills better by thinning the deck off of a Pearl Rhino. Like, technically, the terraforming is a better draw than the Pearl Rhino because you make your mills better afterwards. And they both are equally bad of a mill, right? I think even in that case, you would probably rather play 2 Pearl Rhino, 1 terraforming. There's only one thing where that doesn't work, and that's if you mill both Pearl Rhinos and then draw a terraforming later. That's when it's worse than Pearl Rhino directly. I assume Droll was also a factor.
We had terraforming this lot, we play card destruction instead. And this card is like crazy because it's a crazy push going second, while terraforming is not. Also, like, you really don't want to draw a dead card, like double Pearl Rhino is very bad. So getting terraforming also diminishes. Okay,
so Droll doesn't really seem to be the reason here. I think that's just incorrect then. Like, it's not, I don't think it's like a terrible mistake. Like, I get what I do get is I don't want to play 4 Pearl Rhinos because they don't play another target for terraforming because there's no Fenrir. So there's no like Wraith Soth. So I can kind of understand the sentiment of I don't want to play 4 Pearl Rhinos. I'm gonna cut 1 because they're not that great of a mill. I can get behind that. However, I don't think you cut the terraforming, because if you draw terraforming, it's just significantly better than the Pearl Rhino in that sense. Or like maybe not significantly better, but it is better because you're gonna grab the Pearl Rhino out of your deck, which deck thins, right? His deck makes Beatrice every turn. Beatrice into Terry Karma is always a play. He always has access to the field spell. I mean, yeah, but that's only like going down from 4 to 3 Pearl Rhinos is fine in my opinion. I think that's okay. But I think if you want to play 3 Pearl Rhinos total between Pearl Rhino and terraforming, I don't think you go 3 Pearl Rhino. I think you go 2 Pearl Rhino, 1 terraforming, because terraforming makes your mills slightly better. It's only slightly, right? Taking 1 Pearl Rhino out of your deck only increases your chances of good mills like slightly. But then like having that slight increase of a better mill, if in a deck that mills all the time, I think is relevant.
There's a chance. So I was very, very happy on not playing Terra. Card destruction was very good. I never card destruction the mirror, thank God. But card destruction like a guy, and I trigger like 4 effects.
Card destruction seems mad. Yeah, that shit is probably good. I didn't play it, but now that I'm seeing it, I'm like, yeah, that's probably good.
Right. So sometimes you're like a Guido Kelbeck people, they card destruction them, and they have like 15 cards.
No Fenrir is interesting. Like, honestly, I think Fenrir is very good in tier. I think having like 1 Terra, at least like even something. I had lists that literally played 1 Fenrir because I didn't want to draw too many of them. I didn't want to mill them very often, but I wanted like 1 Terra, 1 Wraith Soth, 1 Fenrir. Because if you ever draw the terraforming, you can go Wraith Soth, Fenrir, Tier Cash, which is such an advantageous sequence to get all those cards for basically free. Yeah, I think 1 Fenrir and 1 Wraith Soth are pos. I think they are good. I don't think it's necessarily wrong to not play them, but I think they're good.
Of their deck out, then you shuffle the things back and mill them again.
With dangers, you're right, Skrelp. With dangers, it changes a little bit. If you're not gonna play dangers, maybe it changes. But with like, sometimes you're gonna danger draw into a Fenrir. Sometimes you're going to, I don't know, have some stuff on the board and then use card destruction and then draw the Fenrir. I can see those things, right? And so in this particular build, I think I'm okay with no Fenrir.
So funny, man. I did a lab guy was terrifying. Foolish, because the best card in the deck, just a Yugioh. Goods over...
You can't tell me to shut up. You can't tell me to shut up, Skull. That's not how it works.
Goods over Terraforming, because you play Karma, so it can be Field Spell, but it can be Scream as well. Or Heartbeat, or... So yeah, mainly those.
Or Tearlaments name or whatever.
Yeah. Also, one cool thing, like, you can... if you're afraid of draw, you can dump Sulyak instead of dumping Karma, and it plays around draw. And he puts that tier name in grave, so if you have a tier cache, you can dump the guy, and then you already have something in grave to start playing. Heartbeat and Triple Scream. Again, get off the early game, good mill.
I like that.
Double Sulyak and Karma. This card is very good. I was keeping it going second, remember
Yeah,
guys?
you have to. Shane.
Because like whenever I get your mail, is the best one because it just gets planted and puts so much pressure to start clearing the board. And a bunch of matchups like Mirror, for example, a lot of milling happens, and or like there's matchups like Enchain and Purdy that you're guaranteed going to mill, so you need good cards to mill to break the board. So very happy I kept this in. Like, you can also pitch it for Poly and Heartbeat.
Obviously, like wins going second. It just by their engine going over the opponent.
Yeah.
So you do like more mills, just play through that board.
Like into Purdy, for example, you let them make the thing, and then you just start throwing things on the
Start
board.
throwing
They don't have
things.
enough noirs to shuffle
You
the
just
thing
need
back.
like more value to mill.
Yeah, and then we do double talents. This was very, very good for me.
It feels like I just watched a 60 card deck profile. Like if you guys didn't tell me this was 40, I would have guessed like 47 or some shit like that.
There's a lot of hand traps around.
It's not feel like the 40
very
card
good. The deck is very good. It's breaking boards. So you guys just talents take anything and then keep pushing.
I feel like we just looked at so many cards.
It's good to Unchain. It's good.
But
to
I guess
Purdy,
the one thing that this deck is that's where all the space comes from. That's why it feels so unusual, right? To all the other decks in the format is because this deck has like almost no non-engine, right? What is there? There's 2 talents. And I guess Druid Worm is like a middle way between engine and non-engine, but that's it. Like that's literally it. Everything else is just gas, right? And so I'm thinking like, oh, okay, they played all the gas and so little non-engine, and just like that's just that. I guess that's 40.
Yeah, really gotta play this. Also, when you mill them, sometimes they trigger like a Shavad or a Fiendish Rhino, and then you just handle. Also very good in the mirror.
Is that 40 cards?
Party, yeah. You want to mill like you though.
Yep.
Usually helps. Let's do extra. These are extra a bit different.
You think Super Poly is better than Talons in the main? I think Super Poly is awful right now. I think against most top decks, Super Poly is not very good against. Most of the time.
There's not a lot of fusions. So it's one Kaleido, one Garura, one Sapelia, one Mondragon, and the one Dangerous.
No, that's all you need.
So
That's one of the
King of
other
Swamp?
key advantages of cutting the King of the Swamp, which is, it might sound trivial and not that important, but getting extra deck spaces is pretty good. Because playing the King of the Swamp makes you play a lot of stuff in the extra deck.
We can summon
Whereas Rule Kalos, exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Kalos or Graphen. I think this was fine. Sometimes I missed the second Mondragon. But we only had like one real flex spot in our extra deck, so that was about it. Yeah. Also, nice D-bet here. Because I'm playing XYZ tier, because I play 6 XYZ. Yeah. So, Redoer, to trigger on Sharon, and comes the Penetration. Dweller. Bahashar. Toad.
Ooh.
This card is so cool.
Ooh.
Real Toad. So, like, you make a lot of
dude,
early...
you know what's sick? Using Toad to negate something and then adding back tier cash from your graveyard in case you have, if you don't have it already, if you couldn't set it up on your opponent's turn. It basically lets you add back a hand trap as well. That's sick.
Yeah.
I just had a major flashback to the weekend. I did not enjoy that. I did not enjoy that statement. That hurt deep down in my soul right now. God damn.
So Bahashar can summon this. It's like before you play into nib, or like in a scenario that if they nib you have a Sharon on the field and the Sharon on the trigger. And this Toad is super cool because A, it's an aqua, so you can shuffle it for Kaleido Heart. B, when you tribute it, you just get the tier cash back. So a lot of times the end board you end on like has like Toad, Kaleido, Sprint, Beatrice, a trap, and then this tributes and get the tier cash back. So yeah, I really like this. It was very, very good for me.
It was something. This was something I had been trying to play, but it's never ended up in my lists because of just space issues. But I mean, I think it's good.
In under 5 summons.
Yeah.
It's very good at beating.
Oh, there's also another cool play. Like when you're going second, you can like Bahamut Shark summon this, and then make sprint with those two. And then this adds like a tier cash back from grave and it's up a Merly. I was about to do it. Azus. Oh, I shoot. I think the first time I saw this card was top 8.
It's fair enough.
This did not come up that much for me.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense to play Tearlaments and like Dweller Azusa Windman in the mirror. And Beatrice, because the deck is Beatrice Turbo, the best card of the deck by far. Then for lanes, Dark Sprint, Crossship was very good. I was skeptical before. Unbelievable. This card's so good.
I swear to God, these freaking announcements are not that clear when you're in the venue. Somehow they only ruin like videos. You can never hear a single word when they actually do them live.
A lot of times you can summon like an XYZ and a fusion and finish their guys to kill. But yeah, this card's so good. Just being able to like summon back Diviners, summon back any level 4s. You can link a Sharon away and bring it back and make redo with the Sharon. And our last one, which is the one we were unsure of, we played Underworld Goddess. So because we're not making any Noir outs, like we're not making Kaijus, we wanted some respect for Pearly in case they just made the big one with the Lich and just sat on it. It happened to me one game.
Okay. This is I played one match against Tier. I played game 1. I set up a huge Noir with Delicious under it. It has like 5,000 defense, and they start playing into it, and I just start spinning their shit at some point because I'm like, surely they play Goddess to out it. And then after the match, they were like, yeah, I didn't have an out to in my deck to Noir. Like if you just didn't use it, I would have lost. I was like, cool, nice. Thank you for telling me that. Now I feel bad.
I also summoned this card randomly, like in Flunder throughout Ampan and stuff like that. Because you play the Naira and Mali, we have either.
I was like, there's no way you don't have any out in your deck.
Probably would play it again. I don't know why would have changed the actual deck.
No Baron? Okay, there's no Baron in here, which I think makes some sense. Because they decided to only play one Diviner and they are trying to make Beatrice anyways with that, probably. I think it's okay to not play Beatrice. I still think my favorite version of the deck would probably still play like some more Diviners and then play Beatrice, not Beatrice, Baron over something else. But I think with one Diviner only and the goal of making Beatrice, I think it's all right to not play Baron.
I kind of want another fusion, but oh no.
That's solid.
Yeah, and then side deck, Crime to go first. We played 1 Trust, 1 Change of Hearts. So this is our Unchained side deck. This is our talent
Come on, dude, no.
But we realized that this is kind of better because we can.
This is our Unchained side deck.
We can search like card destruction and Foolish Prayer as well. And if you get drawn out of those games, you're not winning anyways.
So funny.
This was very good for me. There's a game against Unchained that I drew this talent. And then did this for Change of Heart. Yeah. Change of Heart a guy, he changed Cave, then I Talons look ahead and killed him.
Having 2 different take cards is very good on Trust.
And Change of Heart is theory for the mirror, because like if you do Weller, you can trust, take Change of Heart,
The deck is so tight. It seems like one of those decks where you don't have that much things to side in for every single matchup. You just kind of rely on your engine to do it, right? Your engine needs to do it.
As well.
Also because in Tier you have so few non-engine cards, this being able to be like anything is incredible.
I was like, being able to double up as a good engine card. So you can search card destruction, which comes up a couple times. You can search Foolish. And technically Foolish goods that searches suits well, then for
he
Pearl,
tweeted that he would play the Strudo Baron if he has space. The Strudo is a good card in this deck. Yeah, the Strudo is nice because it's just a free mill. You can draw it as an extender. It can be level 4 for whatever purposes. Well, making it level 4 is hard because it only works with what? Havness. But you would most of the time it would just be a level 3, so you can turn Tier Cash into a Baron. That's really nice, right? You can turn it into a Baron. Yeah, that's nice.
It's the best card to Pearly because ideally you don't want them to draw off the big Nar, as they can draw draws and throws and whatever and ashes. so it was very good.
And then you put it into anything that makes Dweller against you as well, right?
I would put
I will say I was very scared of this card. I will say one thing about my Pearly list with all the draw engine that I really liked over the weekend was, for me, it was relatively easy to play around Herald of the Abyss. Like, a lot of people, there was a surprising amount of people that just relied on Herald of the Abyss as their out to Noir. And the easiest way to outplay Herald of the Abyss is by simply setting one extra purely quick play spell. If you have one extra purely quick play spell set, if they activate Herald of the Abyss, you just chain it to summon out Pure Lily, and that's also a Dark Fairy, right? So that was my way of playing around Herald of the Abyss the entire weekend. I will say I had one instance of an Omega heart attack because I set up a Noir with 8 materials and a set quick play spell. Then during their draw phase, I drew, I think it was 3 cards. I think I had all Sleepy Memories under it because I also had the field spell. I drew like a bunch of cards, and I freaking drew my remaining 2 Pearl Lilies. I had one under Noir, and I drew into both during their standby phase. I had the set quick play spell ready to out Herald of the Abyss. I drew double Pearl Lily in their standby phase. They go main phase. First thing they do is activate Thrust. And I'm just out there shitting myself right there. Like, I'm just there, oh my god, there's no way that's just happening. There's no way that's how I lose this. This is just like, nah, the universe is against me right now. But they didn't main deck. They didn't main deck Herald of the Abyss. They did not main deck it. They didn't have it. They were like, they set an Unchained Trap with the Thrust. So I was very relieved. The heart attack kind of cured itself because they didn't main deck Herald of the Abyss. That was crazy.
Against Rescuers, and I put it against Vanquish, but I don't know if I should so far. Maybe I should.
Is there a world where we go back as Tearlaments players playing Diviner and Herald of the Orange Light? No. There's like, Herald of the Orange Light just is not a good deal when you only have 4 good discards for it. I wonder what happened in that.
Good card, Peekaboo. It was very good for me. I beat a Rika guy because I just like, he full comboed, I saw Peekaboo, I flipped Peekaboo. It was draws before, but our fear
in that specific instance against Rika Sun Avalon, the usage of Peekaboo is allowed and based.
Flounder, the draw doesn't work because if you draw them,
that is the one instance where it's allowed and okay.
Just for the Feather Storm.
Very based.
And if they shift to the draw that. So this works going first and going second, and it's a bit more reliable. And you can say going first against Unchained, going first in like Rika, Dragon Lane. We're doing against Pearly, then we decided not to after. But yeah, pretty glad for me. Yeah. Triple Poly. I was a big advocate for this card. It was very good for me. It's very good in all the shitter decks. Rescue, Sprite, Labyrinth.
I like not maining it, but I think it's a good side card.
Chimera, you name it. Good. And then we decided 2 Bestials to respect the mirror, so Magnet and Baldrake. Going first, you can side this Mag as well in place of one of the Juice Worms, because it's better to draw going first. The Baldrake, I played the Tearlaments round 1, and I drew the Baldrake, and we were deciding if this was Baldrake.
You want my profile is not on YouTube yet, but I can share the drive link. I think we've talked about enough tier with just one. I mean, even the stuff that he didn't play, we talked about. So I think I'm fine with one. Ah.
So yeah. Sprint. Yeah, Sprint. That was it. I really enjoyed playing tier. I really felt like I had the best deck in the room, and I felt that I was playing to a very good level. I'm trying to get excited because I'm 3 out of 4. I mean, we all did insane the last couple months, right?
Yeah, no, Gabe has been on a tier. No pun intended.